Okay, so this is kind of fun and interesting. I've got the bedroom or the dorm room here mostly created, and I have a second window over here where you can see the 3D, just like the open. Well, it's not the OpenGL; it's actually the rendered version of the scene. So I have Edge turned on and I have Freestyle turned on. So that's hence you see the outlines there. Um, the thing that's kind of cool is I'm really debating is there that much sense in let me pull way out here and let's turn off the walls so you can kind of see better what's going on. Um, as I think about this, I'm like, okay, am I really going to put in, the doorknobs and the stuff sitting on the desk? And I'm thinking probably not. I'm thinking leave it out. Okay, because if I go ahead and let's transition back over to here. Okay, if I go ahead and just let me hold on, I'm going to make sure I'm on the right screen. Okay. If I just dolly around in the 3D space and take a screenshot, then I can just bring the screenshot into Krita and there's my background. That's pretty economical. The main problem is that you do have a couple things. Number one, we definitely need like curtains on the walls, and there's some things that are needed. So one way or another, in this particular case, we're definitely going to want to add some things. But what I want to kind of toy with here a bit is what are we going to go ahead and draw into the scene versus, or I should say create in 3D versus, go ahead and leave it out and plan on drawing things in by hand. Okay? So if we put a little bit of a filter blur on the background, and another option, of course, is to scale it a little bit. Let's go here. Let me see what we got going. Oh, I see. We've got a selection. Sorry about that. Yeah. So there's the actual shot that I took, the screenshot. So just scaling it's going to introduce a little bit of blur. And then, as I said, it wouldn't kill us to actually add some blur manually. So that it just softens everything. Let's go with that for the moment. Now, before I get into my pencil test, I'm going to go ahead and get rid of a couple things here that I know I'm going to want out of there later. And probably with that, let's slide that up just a little bit so that because I mean, it's like I said, it's really economical. Just taking a screenshot. I just need to hide the Blender border. Okay, so now we've got our wide shot, and I'm not going to show the storyboard here on like with the webcam or whatever. And by the way, forgive me what I'm about to do. I'm actually just moving the OBS screen out of the way. Helps me to see what the heck I'm doing. Okay, so yeah, we've got a wide shot. Basically, here's what we've got. We've got a foreground situation where Saito is going to be over here. And actually, let's make him blue so he really stands out. All right. Okay, so let's just put Saito in here. Okay, so now you're going, wait, who's Saito? Saito is a really important character. Zen and Saito are both hugely important characters in this story. And they're kind of rivals, too, which is a little bit fun. Okay, so now I'm going to jump over to this view and show you what's actually going on here is Saito is standing like right here. Okay, and this is his bunk. And this would be Akari's bunk over here. To tell you the truth, this is a little embarrassing to admit, but I don't know who the third roommate is. I think it might be Zen, but I need to ask. Not sure who the third roomie is in the school. So anyway, back over here, and we'll just call this Saito. And now we can actually get busy with the close-up, or not the close-up, the pencil test. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and do the old red liner kind of thing, and might as well insert a key. Whoops. Insert a key, control insert. Did we get it? Yes. Okay, so now she's going to jump up. So let's give her a half a second to jump up. Okay, so when she jumps up, here's her head. She's got blankies over herself. She's kind of holding them up. So I must say this is kind of fun. Just working over top of the 3D environment. Question: should we have one of her little toesies sticking out? I think we should. Whoops, we don't want to be in selection mode. We want to be back in pencil mode. How did we lose our color? Okay. So this one will not be. This one will be actually covered by the blankie. And one of the little fun ironies I'm sort of baking into this is that the pattern on her blanket is going to be the same as Mr. Big's clothing in the previous scene. Okay, so now okay, so now if we were going to go with this, which I'm assuming at this point that we are, then what we would do is we would basically say, get rid of that. And there she is. I don't know what that little bump there would be. Okay. Let's do a little liquefaction here, because actually what I'm kind of seeing here is she'd be. This is in wash mode. I'm not. Somehow when I went through the agony of trying other Krita versions, which was a complete bust. Yeah, right. Okay. The settings on the liquefy tool really got kind of hosed. Most unfortunate. Okay, so I'm thinking in practice what we could do is zip that forward, and I'm going to do something I don't normally do, which is combine these in a single shot. So, meaning what? Let's hit Control Insert here. Make sure I got the right layer. Yeah, okay. We'll call this background. Okay, my logic goes something like this. If we're cutting to a close-up here, then it stands to reason that this background would be highly defocused, probably. Okay, I want this to scale on center. Let's get this figured out right now. I believe it is Shift. Yes, it's Alt then Shift. Okay, so now I'm having to really ballpark this. And here we would have Saito disappear. So let's make sure we hit Control Insert so there's actually a key there. And then wherever the situation changes perspective, we'll hit Insert. And what we can see here, for sure, and let's call this a Akari pencil test. Okay, what we can for sure see is that this is not correct. This needs to come down, and we need to really zoom in on this sucker. So let's try that. Just zip in here. Let's let it transform, and then we'll zoom in and just see how that... Okay, that's probably better, and it's clearly out of focus, but let's run with that for the moment. Okay. And how the heck did I get on that eraser? Okay. What I really should do, and obviously we're going to want to repurpose the background, but what I want to do is just get her in there the way I want to see her, and then we'll go back and fine-tune the background. Okay. Okay. Now let's just kind of really try to work quickly here. I really kind of want her to be looking directly out at Saito, I think. So, obviously very sketchy here, but yeah, I like the... I like the feeling. Okay, I don't know what her dialogue is, so I'm going to get myself in trouble if I go too much further with this shot before I have Valerie look at it and make sure I know exactly what's supposed to be happening here. So I'm going to go ahead and let that come down a little bit more. We see her. Okay, so would she be sleeping with her hair up? I think in this case we're going to assume that she would. And do we want to, just for fun, put her little twinkle toes in there? I think so. There's something about Akari's little twinkle toes that I really like. I really like her twinkle toes. Okay, and then what about, should her hands be like this? Holding the blankie kind of snug to herself? I think so. So let's go erase mode and just... Okay, we don't have to belabor the anatomy at this point. It just needs to look basically, let's just say scale-wise, proportionately. It needs to be pretty much in the ballpark. Okay, now here we will be able to see the patterning on the blanket a little better, which is, for me, kind of important. Because like I said, we're sort of hearkening back to Mr. Big. So... okay. Let's do something we try to avoid lately for the most part. And put everything in the timeline. Boom. Close. That's close. I'm thinking, let's go up to frame 30. Jump up. Boom. I like it. Okay, so we're getting 2 shots for the price of 1 here. And I think pretty obviously we're going to go ahead and redo the desk. That'll be pretty easy. In fact, let's do it. Let's have a little bit of fun, seeing how quickly we can sort of crack that nut, solve that problem, yada yada yada. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to I'm in Krita. I'm looking at what we're actually going to want to see here is really close up. And I'm trying to avoid actually having to manipulate the camera. So it would probably render cleaner if I did. So let's go ahead and let's go into outline mode and grab the camera, go to the camera view, and now let's save our work. The reason I'm saving our work is so that the position of the camera is preserved, and after I take this screenshot, I'm going to reload the file. Okay? So now what I'm doing is I'm rotating the camera. Alright. Rotate, and I'm hitting the shift key. Okay, I actually want to go rotate and then middle mouse so I can, oh boy, this can be a pain. Okay, so that's not going to work that well. Let's try it this way. Oh, Zuko just went bananas. Okay, let's shrink the camera down, go over here, size it down, rotate it around. Let's just do it this way. Let's get it in the ballpark of where we know it wants to be. We should not be in perspective mode right now. All right, again, I'm shrinking the camera down to just kind of get it down into the scene. So from each point of view, is it about where it needs to be? It's actually at eye level with Akari, it looks like to me. So I'm going to say probably about there. And now let's see what the camera sees. That's not actually too far off. What I see in my right here, it's actually probably just needs to be a little bit closer, a little bit tighter. So let's hit go and the middle mouse button so we can just push in a little bit. That's pretty good. Now let's hit F12. Okay, full sample doesn't support edge enhance. Okay, that's a little bit of a clunk factor. So I'm over in Blender now, and I'm just turning off the OpenGL. It's kind of strange because I'm not doing an OpenGL render here. But okay. Let's see what happens. Okay, so now we probably need to put the other layers in so we can actually see the wall. Well, you know, that's not too bad. Now I'm going to still do it as a screenshot. So Alt print screen, just so I can jump back over here to Krita and just paste it in. So Control V. And let's push it up here, up to the top. And wow. Okay, it's got to be scaled down a little bit for sure. So let's hit the A key, and you can, it's a little difficult to see, but let's go ahead and squish this down in there. About like that. Okay. Let's make this a little transparent so we can kind of line it up. And so yeah, we kind of fouled it up a little bit, but that's okay. That's okay. We can where this wall corner line rests is pretty irrelevant. So the main thing we want to do is make sure the screenshot details are not visible. So there's that. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to this layer. Here's how I'm going to do it. I'm going to go Control Insert, which puts a key there. All right, I'm going to delete this key. And then what I actually want to do is just literally copy this key into the background layer right there. Okay? And then this layer can now be deleted. It's gone. Gone forever. Save this. Boom. Boom. Look at that. That's pretty sweet. That's pretty sweet. You're going, why is it the size of a postage stamp, Dave, on the screen? Sorry. There. Happy? Let's hit the play button. Boom. Boom. Not too shabby. And then we will stop there. I don't think I want to go any further with this shot until I know exactly what Akari is doing and saying. I will tell you this though. Let's see. Here in this layer, let's isolate this layer and let's do a gradient. Let's have some fun here for just a moment. Let's play with what might be going on in the background. So I'm going to hit the X key so I get a different color here. Okay? Different color. And now what I'm going to do is put in a gradient, and I'm just going to wing it here. Okay, it's going to transparent, so we don't really want that. We want foreground to background. All right. So there's that. Gosh, during the day, what would it be? Let's find out. Or would it be like that? Yeah, that's more dusky. So I'm going to say, we're not going to see up here, obviously. So what I'm doing is I'm just playing around with getting a... actually, let's go with that one. I like that. Okay, and then let's go to all and find the really sweet clouds that I like so well. Where are you, Mr. Clouds? Those are, it might be these. Let's see. B key. Yeah. Isn't that nice? Isn't that gorgeous? So easy. I mean, that's where your animated brushes in Krita are pretty sweet. Now I'm going to grab this shade color and see if this helps or harms. Harms. Kind of makes things look a little bit too much like there might be a storm coming. And we're not, that's not what we're trying to accomplish here. So then what I'm going to do is we are definitely going to have some light streaming in. So let's just go ahead and do that with the airbrush at this point, I think. And then we'll make the layer suitably transparent so it works. So let's make these a little smaller. Turn the opacity down a bit so we get a little bit more intensity. And then we can crank it down and sort of dial it in. And I assume that probably when we go here, we probably could just leave that the same, frankly. I'm gonna, now that I'm seeing it, I'm gonna go ahead and do a little bit of a blur operation right there. Little bit of a blur. Okay, so back to the top here. Yeah, see, that's pretty nice. Let me see here. Hold on. Okay, here's what we're going to do, folks. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to leave that as is. Hit Control Insert. Go here. And now we're going to add the softening. So we'll just give it a little different look there. So now let me let me isolate this layer. I'm kind of feeling like, let me just go back here. I'm feeling like it's, I mean, I guess that is what I drew. Okay. I'm feeling like I want these to be a little sharper, actually, in this shot. So I'm going to go down pretty small here. Yeah. That one I don't like. Little bit, maybe. Okay. So now we'll go here, insert another key, and now let's smear it a bit and see how that feels. And it's one of those things where just a gradient alone would look nice. And we'll worry about dialing in the opacity later. Okay, so this could be, it could be like that. It's definitely not going to be like that. Probably something around there. Okay, so that's cool. It just adds a little character. Let's call this sunbeams. Double click. You can't actually change file or layer names in the timeline. So sunbeam with an S, sunbeams, that's plural. And boom, boom. Okay, I'm going to render this so that we can cut it into the show and see how it feels with the stuff that I did a couple days ago. So let's go Control R. And we're going to render this as 202. Boom. Okay, and now what I'm doing is I'm opening up Blender 2.8. And we will jump over yonder. And we don't want to be there. We want to go. Let's open up the edit. And let's go to the end here. This is where everything's going on. And this is actually kind of important. Here, as she's waking up, obviously ink and paint required here. This is not the correct room. This is I put that in there as a placeholder, something I grabbed off of a, just an online image search. So just a little caveat there. And as we are marching along here in another window, I am going to find the MP4 I just rendered, which is 0202. This one here should be 0101, yeah, or 0201. 02 at this point, I don't know about our naming convention, but basically, excuse me, the idea is that this is Act 2 in the show. Okay, so she kind of starts coming around. Because remember, the last thing that happened was she got clocked and she faded out. When she comes back to, let's see how this feels. You know what? Not too bad. Not too bad. I do think we need to do a proper render of this shot because, well, let's actually go to normal size. Let's hit the 1 key. Maybe not. Obviously some fix-ups on these straight lines. We're getting some aliasing. So that's basically the only reason we need to do some tweakage. But obviously it needs a ceiling. This needs to be a proper silhouette. But I think in terms of storytelling, we're in pretty good shape. She wakes up, surprise, jumps up, and then says something to Saito. I think that probably this shot could go a little bit longer. It's probably not on the screen long enough. So with that, I am going to call it good for shot number 202 at the moment. I think probably the next shot will either be from either some other project or a fix-up from Act 1 of this show. And with that, I will say good day, and of course, there will be more later. Did I say that clearly? Let me try that again. There will be more later. See you guys.